This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, 200 members of the Florida National Guard are preparing for a year-long deployment to our nation's capital. ABC 7's Adam Cellini joins us live from the National Guard Armory in Sarasota, where they just wrapped up a deployment ceremony. Adam?
Scott, thank you. Yeah, right behind me is the headquarters of the 3rd Battalion of the 265th Air Defense Artillery of the Florida National Guard. I know that's a mouthful. Now, just a few moments ago, this parking lot was filled with the family members of those 200 men and women as they loaded up onto 3 buses off to defend our nation's capital. Now, their assignment will be to spend the next 12 months in Washington, D.C., patrolling the skies and watching for counter-terrorist acts. Their assignment is ground-based air defense. It's described by one soldier as the last line of defense, especially in the event of terrorism. Terrorism was the theme on everyone's mind as every keynote speaker, there were 4 in total, including Governor Rick Scott, referenced the Orlando attack as one of the main reasons this unit's assignment is so important. That theme carried over as the governor addressed reporters following the event.
It's a real honor to be here. I always want to thank the men and women that serve in our National Guard for what they do every day. It's right after the terror shooting in Orlando. It brings it home that, you know, we've got to focus on how we defend freedom, how we destroy ISIS, how we make sure that doesn't happen again.
Now, we took some time to speak with some of the soldiers themselves, many of whom are grown and raised right here locally, and their family members who were obviously in tears watching them go off. We'll bring you their emotions and their thoughts as they head to D.C. during this time of kind of violence and a little bit of fear in the country, and we'll bring you all that later on this evening. Right now, live from Sarasota, I'm Adam Cellini. Scott, back to you in the studio.
All right, Adam, thank you so much. In other news, funeral arrangements are set for a Sarasota man, one of the 49 victims killed in the Orlando shooting. Eddie Sotomayor's funeral will be held this Saturday at 2 p.m. at Roberts Arena. It will be open to the public. Organizers for his service are also welcoming anyone interested to join them after the service for the St. Pete Pride and a Candlelight Walk from 5 to 8 p.m. That'll happen at the King of Peace Metropolitan Community Church in St. Petersburg. Sarasota City Commissioners vote against a resolution to ban military-grade assault weapons. Under tight security, Sarasota City Commissioners discussed the resolution last night, even though the measure would be a non-binding and just a ceremonial piece in legislation. Dozens of people packed the commission chambers. Most of those speakers were against the resolution.
The amendment doesn't say rifles, shotguns, handguns. It says arms. I get to choose what I want.
Are we going to continue to allow people to die and not allow us to have a conversation about it? That's wrong.
Sarasota City Attorney cautioned commissioners that even a resolution could open them to a lawsuit from pro-gun groups. They plan to discuss the issue at the next meeting and may consult the state attorney general. Manatee County is preparing for a lawsuit filed by one of its own county commissioners. The Manatee County Commission meeting this morning to vote on the county attorney's decision to use Trenum Law as an outside counsel in the lawsuit. The law firm would represent the county and chief assistant county attorney in the lawsuit. Commissioner Robin DeSabatino is suing the county after fellow commissioners refused to pay her legal fees in a public records lawsuit. Also during today's meeting, commissioners discussed the proposal for a half-cent sales tax to be put on the November ballot. The Manatee County School District is already looking to renew its sales tax for 15 years, while the county wants to add to its own tax. Now leaders representing both Anna Maria Island and Longboat Key are looking to get involved. They attended today's meeting, requesting that more money from the proposed tax be set aside to them. They're asking the county to take 10% off the top of the tax and distribute it in the same way as a tourist tax is used. That method would cause both Bradenton and Palmetto, though, to lose money from that proposed tax. What a terrific day on the Suncoast. Let's get more on that from meteorologist John Scalzi. This morning was spectacular. I mean,
couldn't be it.
We're late June.
Seriously.
This never happens.
Never. Well, very, very rarely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's remarkable that you have this kind of low humidity at this time of year, and it was really nice. It almost felt like out west, you know, because you had that warm temperature still.
Yeah.
You know, up there in the upper 80s, and low relative humidity made it feel pretty comfortable for me. And this morning, one person I ran into even characterized it as a slight chill in the air.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I go that far, but but I hear what they were saying.
We
you know?
loved it, though.
Yeah, it was nice. Oh, what a beautiful sunrise. Check it out. Lakewood Ranch webcam shows the sun just rising in a crystal blue sky. Lovely, lovely start to the day. A few fair weather clouds, yes, but thus far, not much in the way of any kind of rainfall potential across the Sun Coast today. Air way too dry. It'll be a beautiful sunset this evening as well. Scanning radar right now showing pretty quiet conditions across the peninsula. 87 degrees, Sarasota, Bradenton. 81 degrees, Longboat Key. 83, Lakewood Ranch. Mayaca City coming in at 83, 83 Northport. Punta Gorda, actually 84 in Punta Gorda, 83 in Inglewood, 84 degrees in Venice. It is a lovely, lovely afternoon. You know, we'll take it up near the 90-degree mark today. Mix of sun and clouds. Not much in the way of a rain chance. Slight chance of an inland shower. That's about it. And it will be a very brief passing shower if you do get one, and you probably won't. We're looking at increasing humidity, though, over the next several days. This is probably the finest day that we will have this week, and it may just well be the finest day of the rest of the summer as well, as the humidity starts to return full force in a day or two. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes, Scott.
All right. Thank you, John. A local group is looking to raise awareness about some of the struggles many students go through at local schools. The Englewood Community Coalition meeting today to discuss bullying at-risk teens and how to get school administrators more involved with crisis management. The group is looking at ways to begin an awareness campaign to bring parents and children together for public forums and other events. In Manatee County, a new partnership agreement between the City of Palmetto and the University of South Florida is now finalized. Under USF's new Community Sustainability Partnership program, students and faculty will visit the city later this summer to help with projects that address city needs. Some projects will include new architectural design work and looking at ways to improve the city's transportation. A ceremony will be held in August to launch this partnership. Law enforcement will be on the water this weekend looking for boaters who are under the influence. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission is ramping up patrols. It's part of an annual Operation Dry Water campaign. In Florida, it's illegal to operate a boat with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or higher. That's the same as driving a car. The campaign is part of the FWC's effort to reduce the number of accidents and deaths due to impaired boating. Operation Dry Water runs from Friday through Sunday. In Manatee County, the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau is shifting its focus from tourism season to the summer season. Sarasota Herald Tribune reporting the Bureau has already cut February, March, and April from its marketing plans, and it's now looking to cut out parts of January and May as well. Instead, the group will put aside more money from its budget to use for the summer and fall. It will also spend more on digital platforms next year to get a better idea of visitors' interest on social media. Time now to get over to the kitchen today for the first time. We're joined by our guest chef today, Melissa Ludi from Seasons 52 at the Mall University Town Center. Melissa, thanks for being here. What's on the menu for today?
Today we're going to be doing a summer corn ravioli with a corn sauce garnished with some bacon and corn.
Delicious. We'll get back to you in just a little bit and see how it comes together.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Discover the biggest savings of the year on some of America's favorite vehicles during the Drive and Discover event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get America's best value, a new Grand Caravan for just $18,999 or a new Dodge Journey for just $16,999. Stop by today to shop the area's biggest selection of Ram trucks and save up to $8,000 on your new Ram. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Warm out there right now, a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. We're at 87 degrees with the dew point, though. Oh, this is fantastic. 59. How about that? You just really don't get that in summer in Florida. 59 degrees. I think by the end of the week, we'll probably have dew point values that'll probably be once again in the mid-70s. And most everybody will agree when it gets up there, it feels pretty humid and sticky. But 59, that is delightful. And enjoy it because it's just really not going to last. We now have an east wind establishing itself at about 10. That east wind is going to eventually bring a little bit more humidity into the picture. Right now, looking across the country, boy, it's a pretty quiet country so far this morning. We're looking at a few scattered showers in and around the Louisiana Delta region. The showers that have been over Mexico are kind of winding down. We have a few scattered showers in the plains and some around the mid-Atlantic. This is a frontal boundary that kind of stretches down through parts of the Ohio Valley and into the Plain States. And then wrapping up around a low-pressure area off the Atlantic coast, we have some scattered showers that have now moved away from the northeast coastline, and they're kind of out in the Atlantic waters. So all in all, it's pretty tame. There is the potential a little later on for a severe weather threat. We'll show you where, but certainly not over the state of Florida. In fact, I think possibly some of the most widespread active weather in the country right now is occurring down in the very tip of the state. An old frontal boundary kind of meandering there, plus a general wind flow coming in that's producing a lot of moisture and humidity in the southern tip of the state, supporting these thunderstorms throughout the Florida Straits and the Keys as well. If you're traveling down there, this has been kind of persistent weather and probably will be for the next couple of days. It is a signal that eventually we're going to moisten up the entire environment around our area. But right now, the line between dry air and moist air is pretty sharp, and we're right in the middle of that drier air with that 59 dew point. It's kind of nice. Also aloft, the air pretty dry, so we get that nice blue, crystal blue sky. It's beautiful sunset material. So if we look now at the water vapor imagery, which shows you where the motions are, where the higher cloud tops are, actually not water vapor imagery, but satellite, colorized satellite view. You can see where the high, bright white cloud tops would be because they're colorized here in a bright red and orange. And earlier on through Mexico, we had some big, heavy thunderstorm activity here and flooding rains. Now you look at it and things are kind of quieting down just a little bit, but we still have some big showers that are moving onshore from the Bay of Campeche and will eventually, I think, move into more mountainous regions and perhaps produce the potential for some flash flooding there. It is what's left over of what was Tropical Storm Danielle. It's not any longer. It's just a general area of low pressure cluster of showers. This was a 4 a.m. reporting, and it's the last one given by the Hurricane Center. 25-mile-an-hour winds, west-southwest at about 13, and that will continue onshore and basically just dissipate over the course of the afternoon. Still a potential for some flooding rainfall there, though, so we'll watch for that. Otherwise, that has no effect on the state of Florida. We remain quiet in that regard. High pressure, the dominant weather feature, dry air filtering in from the northeast, shifting more to the east. And as we shift to the east, over time, this high moves closer to the Atlantic. Our winds shift more east, even southeast, draws up the moisture, and we start to factor in the potential of some scattered showers as we wind up the work week. That's going to be happening, and you'll even notice, I think, an increase in the humidity as early as tomorrow. But for today, lower humidity, mostly sunny skies, and very small rain chance. So that's good news there. As far as the forecast for us goes, the drier air continues to be in place, indicated here by the tan colors on the water vapor imagery. That's locked in. That's giving us our blue skies and our rain-free skies. Only the slightest little chance of an inland shower. They'll never make it to the coast, though. Northeast wind coming in at about 10 knots. We'll have a moderate chop on bay and inland waters, and the forecast for the rest of the week shows that increasing humidity leading to better rain chances by the weekend. Scott?
John, thank you. There's some promising news in the fight against the Zika outbreak. An experimental vaccine is due to begin human testing in the coming weeks. That vaccine just got the green light from the Food and Drug Administration to begin safety tests. It introduces genetically engineered materials that resemble the Zika virus into the immune system. Animals tested with the vaccine developed antibodies and cells that attack the virus. 40 people will be used in the study to determine the safest dose of that vaccine. Well, if you need more incentive to start eating vegetables, more research is now showing that could make you healthier in the long run. The analysis of 3 long-term studies suggests swapping out 1 or 2 servings of meat and dairy a day with vegetables can lower your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The study found the type of plant-based foods to be important. Diabetes risk dropped by 34% for those who chose whole grains, fruits, nuts, and veggies. The study monitored the eating habits of around 200,000 men and women over 2 decades. Now that summer's here, you may be putting some maybe some summer concerts on your list of things to do, but there is a risk you should know about before you go. Even though you may not notice it right away, exposure to loud noise can age your ability to hear twice as quickly as it should. The more often you listen to sounds that are too loud, the more damage your ears will accumulate. Doctors recommend wearing foamy earplugs to your favorite show. They'll mute the noise to a safe level while still allowing you to hear everything you want to hear. It's important to be aware of the amount of loud noise that you subject your ears to, because losing your ability to hear can have life-altering effects.
One time, that's all it takes. So if you go to a concert and you say, I'm going to just tough it out, and you walk out and your ears are ringing and everything is dull, you've done permanent damage at that point.
Yeah, again, once your ears are damaged, the damage cannot be undone. Let's get back to John Scalzi. He's joined by a guest today from the Florida Studio Theater. John?
That's right, Scott. The first show of the summer season at the Florida Studio Theater. And it's kind of a mixture of comedy, music, social drama, I guess you could even say. The Fabulous Lipitones. And it tackles the subject of prejudice with a 5-part barbershop harmony. Joining us is one of the cast members, Levin Belial. Thanks for joining us today, Val.
So nice meeting you, yeah.
Welcome here. You've done this show before.
I have done.
And you love it, I understand.
I love it. It's a comedy, and it really tackles, you're right, it totally tackles society's view on people who are so much different from us. So with comedy in perspective, it helps people to look at differences and see, are we including people or are we going to push them away? And this show really does that. It has a lot of heart.
Appropriate topic for this time of year these days, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it's really important. Yeah. I mean, to put people who we may even be scared of, to put them in the forefront, and this show does that.
But in a delightfully fun way.
In a delightfully
comedic way. I don't want to say that this is a heavy show. I mean,
no.
It's barbershop quartet.
It's a barbershop quartet. Yeah. And John Marcus, he wrote for The Cosby Show for many years. And he does it in a way where it's one-liners, and it's really fun and comedic like the entire time. It's really fun.
And where have you done this show before, Levin?
I did it in Richmond at Virginia Repertory Theater. Actually, with John Marcus directing it there as well.
Oh, that's neat. So he brought you in to do this
production
as well.
Yeah, Florida
Studio
Theater.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now there is barbershop music in the show.
There is.
And you are a singer as well, is that right?
I am.
You are a singer, and you also have a degree, which I found fascinating, in musical therapy?
In music therapy.
Music therapy. Tell me what that is.
So music therapy, I got it from Berklee College of Music, and I'm a board-certified music therapist. It really is taking music and bringing people to a much more stable state of mind. It's using music and it goes past language, melody, rhythm, all of those things can go past like learning disabilities, even people who have Alzheimer's and dementia who might be shutting down.
Saw a fabulous documentary about that.
It's amazing. It's a beautiful profession to be in, and I'm so happy to be, you know, a music therapist.
So do you practice that when you're not engaged in the theater?
So I actually, in New York, I work at a nursing home and I work at an early intervention clinic.
Fantastic.
And I help the kids learn with music who may be having trouble with language. And I help elders who are going through Alzheimer's and dementia using music to open up their past memories. I'm talking about like singing Elvis and singing you know, old classics like from Patsy Cline and
it's amazing.
It's amazing. Frank Sinatra. They love Frank Sinatra.
So to speak.
Yeah.
Well, you seem like a very gentle spirit. Do you find that what you have learned through music and with music is kind of taken on a new life by doing it in this show? And really, you're kind of in a way instructing people in this show, right?
Well, yeah. So my character's name is Baba Mati Singh, or Bob for short. And I play a Sikh, or the correct pronunciation is Sikh. So I have my turban and my beard, and I use music and all of our love for music to bring us all together and to teach them. And I think what brings, you know, three older guys and me together is the music, is our love for music together.
And I think it's important that you mentioned that your name is kind of shortened to Bob. In the play, because people don't realize that they're going to be bringing in an Indian into the old white man barbershop quartet, right?
Right.
And hence the comedy ensues.
It's a situational comedy, and it's a lot of fun, and it has a lot of heart and meaning to it. That's what makes good theater. When it makes people think. That's what makes a good theater. And makes people laugh at the same time.
Hold a mirror up to nature.
That's right.
Well,
that's right.
I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful show. It's on now, right?
It's on now, and we're going on till June 26th. And you can find more information on www.floridastudiotheater.org, or you can call the box office at Florida Studio Theater.
Levin, thank you for taking a few moments of your time today. I know it's your day off. We really do appreciate you coming in.
No, it's my pleasure.
And talking to us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. Nice meeting you.
Fabulous Lipitones, FST. We'll be right back.
The all-new official Suncoast forecast, only on ABC 7.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits on the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Sarasota Ford.
Each year during the Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Festival, local fishing enthusiasts, boat captains, and government agencies volunteer their time to take more than 80 special needs clients out for a day of fishing on Sarasota Bay. It's called the Friendliest Catch. After a day on the water, every participant is a winner and recognized during a special lunch and awards presentation held at the Sarasota Sailing Squadron.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150, Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on-site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to $2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Dancers are a very fit group to begin with, but even they are looking to improve their craft by this workout. As ABC 7's Don Brennan shows us in today's Donnie Be Fit, Gyrotonics, as it's called, helps dancers get fitter while alleviating and preventing injuries. This is, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that dancing in and of itself would be a good workout and help alleviate injuries or prevent them, but because of the pounding and the stress they put on their muscles, more are turning to gyrotonics, and it's something everyone now can benefit from.
The chiropractor had been popping and cracking and moving me in for years, but the difference was I left my first gyrotonic session and I felt good for a week.
What Elizabeth felt better from was a treatment of gyrotonics. What she needed relief from were injuries after years of dancing.
I walked into a Pilates studio several years ago, 16 years ago, and was living my life in chronic pain. And they started off teaching me a Pilates session, and then halfway through the session, the instructor said, you know, I think that you need to be on that machine over there, and she was pointing to one of these things.
So, like many people who find something that works, Holland went all in.
I started doing gyrotonic 6 months afterwards. I was so impressed with the relief of pain and that I experienced that I went into becoming an instructor. We're looking to open up studios all along the Gulf Coast, which is why our logo is Join the Wave of Movement.
From looking at some of the contraptions, it's hard to figure out how they help, but then when put to use, it's a little more understandable.
What that boils down to is the circularity of the movement. What we've figured out over the years is that people tend to injure themselves at the stop or the start of a movement. With the circular movement of gyrotonic, the three-dimensionality of it allows for people to do full range of movements. We don't really have a start or stop to our movements. It all is fluid and goes from one right into the next.
Holland went on to say that gyrotonics and gyrokinesis has long been accepted in the dance community as an injury prevention and injury alleviation tool. Now it's becoming more mainstream.
Most people seek me out because they're looking for relief from chronic pain. I do occasionally get somebody that wants to do the same kind of workout that Madonna's doing and stuff like that, but I've worked with anything from severely disabled people to the elderly to just the average individual that wants to look and feel their best.
Now you can reach Elizabeth at the new location at the number on your screen there. It's 801 South Tamiami Trail. It's right above the Evergreen Cafe, just as you cross over the border from Nokomis to Venice. So it's, you know, and they want to expand, as she said. But it looks, because she's a dancer, it looks so fluid. And I look at it, I'm like, I was afraid to do it. But it's very easy, and it's good for everybody. Helps with balance, stamina, a lot of things.
All those important things we need.
Indeed.
Definitely. All right, Donnie, thank you so much. Let's get back into the kitchen now. John is there today with our guest chef, Melissa Ludi from Seasons 52. Hey, guys.
Always a pleasure to have you in the kitchen, ma'am. You always cook up a storm.
Yes, yes.
You have something now from the new summer menu, right?
Right. Today, the 21st, is the launch of our brand new summer menu. So I'm going to be featuring the new summer corn risotto, or corn ravioli.
Nice.
That is brand new, which also we have corn risotto on the menu now. So
I would think that chefs just have a whale of a good time this time of year with so many things coming into season and fresh foods.
Summer is such a good season because the vegetables, they're just so vibrant and fresh, and it just they all just look so pretty. And they taste wonderful.
Okay, now you have absolutely made my day with this. What was in there?
So that was canola oil.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I have one of those pump-up things, and I hate it because they last a few weeks. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
wow.
and it's a lot easier than taking the whole bottle and trying to pour, and then you might pour too much, or that way you can get as much as you want.
Okay, mental notes.
So we blanch the corn ravioli for about 2 minutes or until they start floating in the water.
Okay. And do you have to use rapidly boiling water when you do that?
Yep.
Okay.
And then we have preheated the pan, sprayed it with a little bit of canola oil, and we're just going to let it sit there. We're going to let it get a little bit of color, add a little bit of color to the plate.
And as it does that, let me just ask you, what's inside the ravioli there?
It's a corn polenta mix.
Okay. So it's a soft center, so instead of like a mascarpone cheese or something like that, or a ricotta, you're using polenta.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yep. And it just blends really well with all of the toppings and everything that we're going to throw on there. And while that is sauteing, we're going to just chop up a little bit of bacon for the garnish. Who doesn't like bacon, right? Who doesn't like bacon?
Everything is better with bacon. Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm guessing because it's seasons 52 that this is not your standard off-the-shelf bacon. It's probably some kind of smoked something or other.
It's applewood smoked bacon.
Lovely.
Yeah. So for the corn sauce, let's go back real quick. For the corn sauce, it's going to go on the bottom of the plate. You just take some corn, roast it in the oven, take the corn off of it when it's done, take the corn husks and some water. You're going to make a corn stock with that. And then take the corn that you took off the husk to make the corn stock, and then mix it in, blend it up, and you have a corn sauce.
Wow, how about that? So do you just barely cover the corn stalks with water? Is that how much water you would use?
Yep.
And then how long do you have to cook that?
You just let it simmer for about 25-30 minutes or so till you get the flavor out.
Nice.
It's already roasted, so it kind of brought some of those flavors out already.
Can I try that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
All right, so we're getting that
And that's
warmed
just
up.
ground up corn and the sauce.
A little bit of salt, pepper, a little bit of Tabasco, but I mean, yeah.
Killer. It's wonderful. Yeah.
All right, so we just want to put a little bit of the sauce on the plate. You don't want too much because you don't want to overpower the ravioli. You want to get that
back taste of the Tabasco. It's nice.
Yeah. All right, so we're just going to flip them over. A little bit of browning on there.
Lovely.
Let's cook them a little bit longer.
And then what are the other things you got going on over there?
All right, so we're going to throw some corn in here. We're going to throw some of our red peppers in here. Just get that hot.
And this summer menu, how comprehensive is it? Have you just added a few things, or is it a reworked menu?
I mean, we still kept the staples because some of the things, if we take off, people, you got to keep. Yes. We don't want to make anybody too upset.
Okay.
So we still have our staples on there, but there's so many. Like all of our soups are different. We have tomato soup and corn soup. We have so much with tomatoes and snap peas and corn. Lots of garlic.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, while you finish this up and plate it up, I want to remind everybody that the recipe for it is on our website, mysuncoast.com. You go on there and you click on the dining button, and it will take you right there and give you everything you need. And I see you already have actually a plated up version right there.
Yeah, we just have one just in case.
There's what the final product actually looks like. Yep. Absolutely gorgeous.
Bacon.
And we want to thank you, Chef, for coming in today.
Well, thank you
Always
so
love
much.
Seasons 52.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in. Please, don't make yourself a stranger. Come on back.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Hey, I'm really glad that you're taking a few moments to check out this video about the ministry of First Sarasota, Downtown Baptist Church. I'm William Hill, lead pastor here at First Sarasota. For the last 15 years, it's been my privilege to share in the life of this faith community, a community that centers itself around faith, friends, and family. Indeed, it is a ministry that's been in existence right here in this wonderful city for over a century.
College is the best starting line a Florida student could have. Since earning my degree at the University of Florida, I've gone on to be a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Rookie of the Year and a team owner in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series. Thanks to the Florida Lottery, many more students will be off to the races with a brighter future. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
I'm Dale Mast, and we're celebrating 40 years on the west coast of Florida. It's our 40th anniversary, and it's time for a celebration, the Culligan Hydration Celebration. For a limited time, celebrate by taking $250 off any Culligan home system. That's $250 off Culligan water softener systems, drinking water systems, or whole house water filters. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary, and remember,
for better water, pure and simple, call today and say, "Hey, Culligan man."
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. A deadly heat wave is blazing across the west and southwest while fire crews drop water and flame retardant to fight the wildfires that have sparked. Many residents face mandatory evacuations. Overnight, just north of Los Angeles, two separate fires forced hundreds to flee. More than 3,500 acres torched in two separate fires burning dangerously close to each other. The reservoir fire, difficult for crews to fight over steep terrain, and the fish fire burning dangerously close to homes.
It's a little bit nerve-wracking.
People picking up garden hoses to quench hot spots in their backyards.
This is my home. I'm gonna fight for it. Temperatures are high and the winds are now kicking up, so it's the perfect storm.
A total of 17 large wildfires are burning in 8 western states, including Alaska. High winds remain a concern today. 4 states, California, Utah, Nevada, and Arizona, have an excessive heat warning. Arizona also had at least 5 people die due to the heat. Paramedics making more than 100 calls in 116-degree temperatures. The West is expecting to get some relief from the heat in the coming days, but those temperatures are now heading east with 100-degree temperatures expected from Colorado to Kansas. Meanwhile, some strong winds creating havoc at a birthday party in New York. The wind picked up a bounce house and carried it straight into some power lines. Witnesses say some kids got out of that bounce house just moments before the winds carried it away. Utility workers had to temporarily shut off power to remove the house from the lines, and fortunately, no one was hurt. You always have to anchor those things down, you know, or else that can happen very easily.
And there are limits to how much wind they can take, you know.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't put them up if it's above a certain limit. So
exactly.
It's important. We have across our region today winds that'll maybe be picking up a little bit this evening, actually. They were kind of breezy yesterday afternoon, and we may see that happen again this afternoon. But goodness knows, you just can't beat the current weather. Look at this beautiful vista from the rising sun this morning and the setting moon. It was glorious over Sarasota Bay. As the dew point values are down in the 50s, only a few fair weather clouds. You notice none of these clouds have any height to them, no loft. You just can't with the air so dry. And the sinking dome of air over it. It's going to be another beautiful afternoon. Only the slightest little chance. I'll put it at about 10%, and you know what? I probably could have just taken it off altogether. A slight chance of an inland sprinkle or mist. That's really about it. That's all you're going to see. Daytime planner shows a daytime high of about 90. I think that's fairly accurate. We'll have a mix of sun and fair weather clouds, particularly in inland areas, clear conditions near the coast. We have an east wind established now, but I think we'll have a little localized sea breeze possibly until the winds kick up a little bit later on this evening. Complete forecast coming up in just a few. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Governor Rick Scott is sharing his disapproval over FEMA's latest decision, FEMA rejecting Scott's request for a federal emergency declaration in Florida. That declaration would have given the state more resources to help in the aftermath of the shooting in Orlando. It also means the state will not receive $5 million in funding that the governor requested. In a statement, Scott said it's unthinkable that President Obama does not define the shooting as an emergency, but FEMA's director says the request did not demonstrate how the emergency response is beyond what the state and local governments can handle. Meanwhile, U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch will be in Orlando this afternoon to meet with prosecutors, first responders, and victims of the shooting. Investigators have conducted hundreds of interviews and say they have not ruled out charges against anyone involved in the shooting. To the race for the White House now, where the Trump campaign begins its first full day without Corey Lewandowski as its campaign manager. Speaking on Fox News, Donald Trump still stands by Lewandowski even after he was fired yesterday. Trump says he did a great job, but they are moving in a different direction. Sources with the Trump campaign say that it was Trump's 3 older children who were the biggest influence in making the change.
We didn't see this coming. I mean, listen, but there does have to be a transition towards the general. There does have to be someone that has this experience.
Lewandowski says there are no hard feelings about his departure from the campaign. A new way for women to get contraceptives is causing some controversy today. The New York Times reports a growing number of apps are making birth control pills available without a visit to the doctor, in some cases for girls as young as 13. ABC 7's Alex Redmond has more.
It's birth control made easy. New apps and websites are now prescribing women, and sometimes girls as young as 13, birth control without ever stepping foot in a doctor's office.
About half of pregnancies in the United States are unintended, and we'd like to see that number decrease.
Hans Gangaskar, co-founder of the company Nurx, says it strives to make birth control more easily accessible.
We think using telehealth and telemedicine to advance access to birth control is the only way that we can really do it.
For many, visiting the doctor for a prescription can be time-consuming and sometimes costly. But for some women, like 21-year-old Sarah Montoya, apps like this can be extremely helpful.
It makes it communicating with the doctor much easier than actually going to an office, being able to chat with them in a way that's comfortable, in a way that's not so intimidating.
So how exactly does this work? In most of the apps, the women first have the option to answer questions about their health online or by video chat. Then they are paired with the doctor who talks them through the service and ultimately provides the prescription to the local pharmacy. Some even shipping the contraceptive directly to your door. These new websites and apps require no legislative approval since clinicians still write the prescriptions and need to follow state laws for telemedicine. But some doctors say the seemingly convenient over-the-counter birth control method isn't for everyone.
Birth control is not one size fits all. There are many options out there, and I think patients and doctors need to work together to find the best individual option.
For ABC 7, I'm Alex Redmond, your Suncoast News.
Alex, thank you. Still to come in your Suncoast News, it's a local community you may be familiar with, but maybe you've been pronouncing it wrong for many years. We'll take a look at this week's A Place We Call Home next.
My dad is my hero, and I wanted to give him a chance to live life and be happy. Granny Nannies has been a huge help. It has contributed to the health and happiness of my dad, for sure.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
ABC 7's Pump Patrol, a list of the Suncoast's cheapest gas on mysuncoast.com.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
Attention! This is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
Granny Nannies. We've been making house calls for over 25 years. When you need home health care services, there really is no place like home.
Grandma!
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Current air temperature on the warm side, coming in at 87 degrees. We'll probably get pretty close to the 90 mark today, but who cares? Look at the dew point. My goodness, 59. It is so comfortable out there. It is just very much a gift. We don't get this at this time of year very often. So enjoy it while you can, because that dew point value of 57 will probably be in the mid-70s by the end of the week. We have an east wind now establishing itself, coming in at about 10 as we head through the next couple of days. We'll probably even see that switch a little bit more southeast at times. Across the nation right now, pretty quiet conditions in the deep south. If you're traveling to the Atlanta airport, or Raleigh-Durham, or the Charlotte airport hub, should be no issues whatsoever. And the persistent rain showers that we had in the northeast have abated somewhat. Still have some showers where the cold front kind of curves back overland and heads toward the west over the Delmarva right now, but it's not really heavy or serious at this point. We have some showers around the Louisiana Delta region as well currently. But over us, everything's very quiet, very tame. That drier air sitting over us, giving us blue skies, only a few fair weather clouds and shallow clouds at that, no real loft to them. The showery activity that you see down to the south is going to really kind of stay focused down there, because the little kicker in the atmosphere that's getting the air to rise is a frontal boundary that remains stalled down there. So that's where the moisture is. That's where the little mechanism in the atmosphere is that is producing those showers. Locally, everything's quiet. Don't see any rain showers on radar currently, and I doubt we see too much today. The thing that will change with time is the location of this high-pressure ridge, which right now is a little bit to our west, so it kind of directs our winds out of the northeast initially today, now east. But with time, what will happen will be that high-pressure ridge moves toward the Atlantic, and as it does so, we start to see a flow of air coming up from the south that returns moisture to our atmosphere and sets the stage for a few fair weather showers as we head into the end of the week. In fact, I think by the weekend, we'll see our rainfall chances become more typical for this time of year, coming in at probably around 40%, maybe even 50% as we head into Saturday and Sunday. Today, lower humidity, mostly sunny skies, very small rain chance. It will be an absolutely delightful evening. Drier air filtering in, very visible on the water vapor imagery. This shows you where the swirls and motions are in the atmosphere, where the warm, moist air is, or at least the moist air is, and where the dry air is. The turquoise, the moist air, the tan colors the dry air, and you can see how sharp the division is between the moist air to the south and the dry air over us. That will be changing with time. Forecast, northeast wind shifting east this afternoon and evening, staying there and increasing a little bit in intensity as we head into the overnight at about 15 knots. That should bring you a moderate chop on bay and inland waters with 2-foot seas. We now have a water temperature coming in at about 85 degrees, so the water temperature is getting up there as well. And with the sun angle as it is, highest in the sky that it was going to be yesterday, why that water temperature will be increasing over the next couple of weeks as well. A couple of tides to talk about. Right about now, actually, we have our high tide at 12:53. Low tide comes at 9:29, and followed by another high tide after the midnight hour coming in at 3:46. Forecast looks good for the rest of the week. Next couple of days, I think, will feature lower than average rainfall chances and humidity as well, though it will be on the increase. And I think by tomorrow, certainly day after tomorrow, you're going to notice the difference in the humidity in the air. It'll feel a little stickier, a little bit. It'll still be comfortable tomorrow. And then as we head into Friday and Saturday, that's when we really start to work our rain chances back into the picture. And by the time we hit Sunday, we're back at that 40%. Scott?
John, thank you. Every week we put the spotlight on a Suncoast community in our series, A Place We Call Home. Today, ABC 7's Linda Carson takes us to an area many of us call Vamo, but at least one longtime resident calls Vamo.
This house was built in 1900 by the only doctor in the area. He often delivered babies here. Vamo was developed in the 1920s. People were flooding to Florida then to make their fortune on land deals.
And these are two couples. They pooled their funds. There was a Wren's, their name was Wren, W-R-E-N-N, and the other one were Gibsons. Gibsons were from Virginia, and Wren was from Missouri.
They discovered a small community south of Sarasota called Bayonne with a lot of for sale signs.
And they thought this would be a good place to start a little community, and we'll just make a lot of money right here.
And so they bought up the property and changed the name to represent their home states.
They chose VAMO, and it's Virginia and Missouri, but they called it VAMO. VAMO.
And they bought the doctor's big 18-room house.
They thought if they could get a motel started here, they could bring the people down from Missouri and Virginia, and they would have a clientele.
And they'd sell them houses. In 1923, they began to build houses.
They had 75-foot lots. They built a house on every other lot.
They originally sold for around $12,000. Norma still lives in one of them. This is the original bedroom in this house that was built in the 1920s. That's Norma when she first arrived here, and she's decorated this bedroom much as it would have been back in those days. Things were going great. Then the Depression hit. Many BOWIE'S residents lost their homes, and the original investors lost everything.
Wrens and the Gibsons went home penniless.
Eventually, BOWIE'S bounced back. BOWIE'S has luxury houses and small houses today, but Norma says wherever you live in BOWIE'S, it's a great place to call home.
I like it because I can walk to the mall, I can walk to the stores, and there's no traffic noise, but I don't miss the traffic noise. I'm thankful. I'm so thankful that it's so quiet down here. And the bay is right here.
Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Linda, thank you. Entertainment news is coming up right after this.
Hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? ABC 7 has the information you need. Access our special Surviving a Hurricane now. Learn how to prepare a readiness plan and survival kit. Know your evacuation route. Be prepared, Suncoast, when severe weather threatens. Access our special on our ABC 7 app and all our live streaming platforms.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. Services.com, ANDservices.com.
Did you know? When your dog stays at Canine Corral, the play is free? Contact Canine Corral today about boarding and daycare packages. Canine Corral, where the love is.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook.
Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
More details are emerging about the tragic death of Star Trek actor Anton Yelchin. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is now investigating after Yelchin was run over and killed by his own car in his driveway. The Jeep Grand Cherokee was part of a recall for problems with its gear shifter. Fiat Chrysler is also investigating the accident. Yelchin, one of the stars of the recent Star Trek films, was only 27 years old. A reality star already facing federal bankruptcy fraud charges in Pittsburgh has now been charged with failing to report Australian currency she brought into the country. Court documents don't specify how much money Dance Mom star Abigail Lee Miller brought into the country, but say that she violated a law that requires her to report currency worth more than $10,000. Miller is still awaiting trial on charges filed last fall, alleging she tried to hide $775,000 worth of income from the reality show and spin-off projects during her bankruptcy. Filmmaker J.J. Abrams is shifting his focus from movies to television. He'll be adapting a book about the final months of Michael Jackson's life into a new series. The network and premiere date for the series have not been yet announced. Jackson died in June of 2009 from an overdose. You have to be a true David Bowie fanatic for this story. If you want to own a piece of Bowie memorabilia, how about a piece of his hair? A lock of the singer's hair will go up for auction in Beverly Hills Saturday, and it's expected to bring in about $4,000. The lone hair is from an employee at the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum who used it to create a wig for Bowie's wax figure. She then kept it as a souvenir and is now trying to cash in.
Did you say the lone hair?
It's a lock of hair.
A lock of hair.
So yeah, I don't know if that's several or if it's a single or.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could have some of mine for about 40 bucks. Not even.
Lunch, yeah.